Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. So get on over to DraftKings, use that DNVR code, get amazing offers every single day. Avs in Calgary tonight taking on the Flames. Obviously, no interesting news at all surrounding the Colorado Avalanche today.
So before we get into that, we talked on the last show about I can't believe DraftKings doesn't have odds for there to be a fight in a game. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, I wish they would have had odds on if there would have been a fight at the Oscars.
Oh, my God.
Because you could have made out like a bandit.
So much money would have been made. Yeah.
So that was doubly disappointing that I couldn't bet on if there'd be a fight in the Avs game. And now every year I'm just going to put money on there being a fight at the Oscars, and hopefully it'll hit.
You will never hit that again.
Yeah, that's a once-in-a-lifetime bet, I think, probably.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm kidding. Or am I?
Should I make a bad joke about someone?
Yeah, I was going to say, see if here comes over and smacks the shit out of you.
Exactly.
Keep MacKinnon's name.
Obviously, Nathan MacKinnon out for the Avs. Arturri Lehkonen in. We'll talk about both of those things. But the Avs going into Calgary more or less at full strength, at least relative to all the dudes that the Avs are missing.
Dude, relative to the entire league, 6 of their top 7 forwards, based on ice time, have played every single game this year.
Yep, good for them.
I don't know if there's a team that's had better injury luck this season than the Flames.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you on that one. Kemper and net.
Oh my God.
What, Blais? I know you were talking about this. The Avs are actually dogs for once on DraftKings.
Yeah, money line.
Is that the feeling going into this game? Do you feel like the Avs shouldn't win this game?
I don't know. It really depends on how people step up to play, right? Like, we've seen MacKinnon disappear before. He's had injuries this year. They've played without him. They did pretty well down that stretch when they didn't have him.
They're like 10-2-1 without him or something ridiculous
like that. I'll go find it. Yeah, they've got a great record.
Jesse will get us the exact number.
As I say that, I mean, the injuries are starting to kind of pile up with key players being out of the lineup. So you're going against a team that has played very well in the last few years.
Good comment, for sure.
Don't slap me. I didn't say that. So.
I won't slap anybody for making fun of me.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but going back, I mean,
19-3-2 going
shit.
back to the start of 2020.
That's insane.
The Avs are 19-3-2 when Nathan MacKinnon is not in the lineup.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. But you have more injuries that are, piling up there. So, and Calgary's a good team.
They are.
They play well. Obviously, in the standings are the team right behind the Avalanche, if you want to say right behind. And they're playing well right now. Johnny Hockey right now is playing good hockey. Last 3 games, 3+ points per game. So, does he keep that streak alive tonight?
Look, the Avs have broken him before. They can break him again, perhaps.
Very true.
So, I don't know where my expectations are really at for this game. It should be an interesting one, I think, just because you're going to see some players get some opportunities, right?
Yep.
Again, with as many injuries as the Avs have, the Avs are going to kind of be full YOLOing their top 6, I imagine.
Here's the crazy thing about the Avs injuries. Really, it feels like a lot of this year, going back to last year's, it's kind of like Vegas, where not only are they injuries, but they are injuries to top
key
guys.
pieces, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Your bottom 6 has stayed pretty damn healthy all year, but it seems like right now, to your point, who are the guys that are going to be missing tonight? Nathan MacKinnon, Gabe Landeskog, Sam Girard, Bowen Byram.
All dudes that play 20+ minutes a night for you.
2/3
Are we missing
top
a D?
line.
Who else is missing on the defensive line?
Gerard Byram.
Just Gerard Byram, yeah, we got it.
Ryan Murray.
Oh, and
Murray
Ryan
is
Murray,
out,
yep.
but
who's been playing well. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So probably what 2/3 of your top line, and then
2 top 4 and a bottom pairing D.
And 50% of your top 6 defense. So it is just interesting where these injuries are coming from. Like, interesting in the terms of like, wow, that's unfortunate luck.
That's all.
We didn't get your take on this, Blais. You weren't here the other night. How did you feel about the actual fight from MacKinnon?
Well, if you saw my tweet,
I didn't.
I know you didn't. But
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
I definitely saw it, Blais. In fact, I can even quote it back to you. That's how many times I saw it.
Definitely
That's
isn't
BS.
looking it
That's
up
such
right
BS
That's not
right there.
true.
Such BS right there. No, but like, why is he fighting right now? Especially a month and a half. Well, now basically a month before playoffs start. Why is your star player fighting? No matter what's happening on the ice, somebody else has to take that fight.
I'm so glad I don't have to kick you off this couch. I agree with you fully.
He's your star player. He's skilled. Why is he fighting?
It's the reason Jesse sits over there by himself.
Yeah.
Jesse, I
I
understand
kicked
that.
off the seat.
I understand that from like answering the bell.
See,
But he is so important to the Avalanche that he shouldn't be fighting. It doesn't matter what happens. Like if you want to get back at Dumba, just wait till you have the matchup that you want out there to fight him.
And so, are you saying because like you don't want to risk injury?
Exactly.
Okay, so where do you draw the line? Should Nathan MacKinnon not be blocking shots between now and the end of the season?
No.
You got to play hockey.
That's part of
but
the
you don't have
game
to
that's
go
going
punch
in between
people.
the whistles.
Okay, but that's taking an unnecessary injury risk, right?
I don't think
No.
it is.
No. That's part of the game.
But
where it affects the score.
But the argument is you have other guys on the team
here-
to fight.
here's-
You've got Jack Johnson, EJ. They should be out there eating pucks, right?
Sure.
Not Nathan MacKinnon.
I mean, ideally, yeah, but take
Ran-
a look at the difference.
Brandon doesn't block
how many blocks does Nathan MacKinnon have in his life?
I don't know, but I'm making
And
the point.
it's significantly more than fights, is what I'm trying to say.
I actually don't know how true that is.
I would. I'm sure it's not a big number of blocks, but MacKinnon has what 3 fights in his
No
career?
way. I think McKinnon's got 3 fights this year.
No shot.
He's got 2
bro.
this year.
He's got at
And
least 2 this
there's
year,
only
and then
one
I think,
other that I can remember in his career. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, McKinnon's been in
he's not
dozen
been,
fights
not
at
real
least.
fights in the like helmet throwing and shit.
No
sure,
way,
but
dude.
that's not a real fight.
That's not a real fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. What the exact? But so look. Here's my thing. Obviously, I think everyone agrees. You don't want people taking
10 fights in it.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Double digits.
That's more
10.
than I
Double
thought.
digits
10.
even.
I still think there's way more blocks than fights there, but
Could you imagine if not
9
at that
blocks,
number?
10
Yeah. I loved when Mikko a couple weeks ago, like he made the joke about, I think it was a game where Francouz had come in and he was playing really well, and I asked like, what does it do for the confidence level? Your goalies. He's like, well, it's great for me as a winger. I don't have to block many shots, and I was like, that is when you don't block shots. But look, so. I'm with everyone that like you don't want people taking unnecessary risk, right? Jared Bednar even said that the night that Kadri got in the fight. We don't love when our star guys get in fights and risk injuries, but like I do appreciate that. What has been the criticism levied against this team for years, even as recently as last playoffs and into this season? They're too soft. Their top guys got pushed around. Their top guys can get pushed around, and they know other teams know there's nothing to do about it. I'm not saying you have to go out and fight, but I do appreciate the fact that the Avs are tough to play against. No matter what, win, lose, or draw, you come out of a night playing against the Avs. Like Matt Dumba, the Minnesota Wild won that game. I guarantee that guy had a screaming migraine for the next 24 hours. Like, they are tough to play against. They make you feel it, and they play for each other. The fact that one superstar stands up for another superstar, that does just mean something to me. Obviously, I would love it if Matt Dumba would agree to drop the gloves with Curtis McDermott.
Yeah, of course he's
and get
not
his
gonna
head
do
kicked in.
that,
Right.
totally.
And so, like, there is just a part of it where it's not code, it's not answering the bell, it's this guy is standing up for a teammate. And I do love that we talk a lot about Nathan MacKinnon being one of the greatest players in the world. And I think, Blais, we were talking in one of the last games, that is the side of his game that Connor McDavid doesn't have. Sure. He has that physical edge where he can play heavy, he can play physical, he'll get in your face if he needs to, and he'll drop the gloves, and he's strong as hell. Like, I don't think there's one person that would say Matt Dumba even came close to like being in that fight. Like, he's got an extra element to his game. It's a shame that this has happened. There's been a couple videos going around. My guess is it's probably like a wrist sprain.
There is no official
word. There's no use in speculating. Every bit of fucking Googling that I've done today. I'm expecting this to be something where he's probably shut down for the rest of the regular season, but honestly, fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
MacKinnon does have 803 block shots.
Yeah, so just a couple more blocks.
Is that 303?
He can never block another shot
That
again.
actually
That
seems
doesn't.
like,
That seems like a lot.
that seems like a crazy high amount for him.
That's just his NHL career. He has 35 this year alone.
Shot blocks.
Yeah,
Really?
because shot blocks happen on accident.
Yeah,
all
I
the
was gonna
time.
say.
You don't punch someone in the
Jesse,
face. on accident.
I agree with like him fighting, but it's really about the time of the year it is. Like you're starting to go down the wire. These games really don't mean that much right now to the Avalanche.
Yeah.
You're not. I know
If
you're.
This was, if
it's
this
really.
was January, I would have understood it a lot more.
Yeah,
for sure.
like I guess you're sending the message for the playoffs that we're not going to be pushed around, but whatever. But like, if something serious happens, he breaks his wrist completely.
Yeah.
Something goes awry.
For sure. I mean, Chris
and he's
Stewart-
out for the playoffs.
Well,
Yeah. No, and that part of it, I am with you guys. I'm with everyone. But like the other thing that you do just have to keep in mind, these are the most ultra competitive people on the planet.
oh, yeah.
I get
And
it. I do.
Him even in his own tier amongst that group, you're in a game where it's a tight game. You don't like the other team. You're probably going to be playing them in the playoffs. Matt Dumba, a big name player, I honestly thought that hit was just a touch high, just a little high, caught him on the chin a bit. Matt Dumba looked like he launched into it just ever so slightly. It's a hit you don't like. I don't know. I don't think that he was processing, we're 4 weeks from the playoffs, I shouldn't do this. He was saying,
Max saw the red mist and he went and punched him in the face,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's a great way
But
of putting it.
I think it's fair to say that in the same game, you're asking EJ to be smarter with his penalties. Mm-hmm. I think you need to ask MacKinnon to be a little bit smarter with protecting himself
Ooh,
there,
I like
too.
that one.
Sure. Yeah.
The other
I
thing,
guess.
can they just go back to letting them take the helmets off? I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these
People
injuries
punching
are,
helmets is
Yeah.
so stupid.
You know how bad it hurts to punch a helmet?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it hurts.
if you
I'm not stupid.
if two people mutually agree that they want to punch each other in the face, I have no problem with them taking their helmets off and doing whatever they
Yeah.
want. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, and you guys also I saw a clip today of like when they started to go down, MacKinnon like really wrapped him up when they went down. And
Yep.
There's a lot of people saying maybe like, so you don't slam your head on the ice. Like, it does seem like there has been a little bit more etiquette in fighting over the last few years where
for sure.
I want to beat the shit out of this person, but I don't want to like ruin his life.
I mean, it was Ovi one punched Zadina or no, it was Svechnikov.
And that I remember that one because Ovi told him like 4 times, like, don't do
You
this.
don't want to do
You
this.
don't want it. I promise. You don't want to do this. Okay. One punch knockout. That was
Yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
I don't really think helmets stop concussions from happening, though. Like it stops like pucks, cutting
Yeah.
faces, and doing bad damage to the head.
Right.
I've had a helmet on and got a bad concussion from the ice.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
They stop like the flesh wounds.
Yeah.
I worked at it was like a hockey equipment and hockey and lacrosse store. I mean, this was years ago. And I remember I did a lot of the purchasing, so I met with a lot of the vendors. And I do just remember so many of them talking about like, oh, we're getting close to concussion proofing these helmets and look how it moves and and it's like, yeah, but the issue isn't what's going on outside. It's the fact that your brain is smacking into walls on the inside. Like, that's the issue.
Yep.
So to your point, yeah, maybe keeping the helmets on helps a little bit here and there in a fight, but I think taking them off would avoid more injuries than forcing them to stay on.
In the specific
prevents.
scenario of a fight.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not playing with fun. We're
No.
not going back to
Yeah.
the 70s.
We've gone totally off the rails on this show. We do have other topics
Can
to
I
get
take
to.
it off the rails for just
Yeah,
30 more
you got
seconds?
30 seconds.
What do you guys think of the helmet coming off straight to the bench rule?
I'm fine with it.
Do you guys like that, or do you think you should, or you have to pick it up and put it right back on?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Perfectly fine with
You
it.
winced.
Just put it back on.
Yeah, see, yeah. As long as you don't have to like re-buckle it, I think you should grab it and just put it back on.
They call penalties for dudes who have their visor worn up high. So, like,
But the funny thing is, like, you can have your chin strap.
yeah,
Down
down
here.
down
Yeah.
your chest.
Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
Okay, so some good news here. Arturri Lehkonen finally
Yes.
cleared with the visas to play for Colorado.
Yep.
I was going to talk a bunch about how they're going to put him next to Newhook and it's going to be awesome, but that's clearly thrown out of whack now. So
No, I actually think he is. I think it's Newhook.
they're
and
still going to
Burakovsky.
do it.
There's the lineup right there for you guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so fuck it. He's a second liner now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Woo! So all right, here's we're a week removed from the deadline. You've got Landeskog, MacKinnon, Girard, Byram, Murray out. That is not a terrible forward lineup, given all the injuries you have.
It doesn't feel awful.
Right. Like, given some of the lineups that we've seen when you're 2 injuries deep up front in the past,
Yeah.
that was 12 NHL players.
Don't see Jason Megna in that line.
Right. Yeah. And TJ Tynan lights up the AHL every year, but
Has 4 NHL points.
right. So you could feel worse about it.
For sure. Definitely could.
Y'all here just hates me tonight, by the way. I'm just talking and nowhere to be seen
You just
all
get-
night.
Just
Yeah,
get
I
held
know.
off the camera.
Yeah. I
He's
show
voice
up early
only.
and everything
Narrator.
just to sit here and chat with y'all here, not for anything else, just because I care about him so much.
You are to the
Wow.
show like
Yeah.
Hannah is to real life.
Yeah. You can hear him. You hear about him. People talk about him, but
I'm still getting used to the 3 camera setup.
But, I mean, what are realistic expectations here? Are you expecting effective play? You're throwing him into a top 6, Lehkonen this is. You're throwing him right into a top 6. A rookie and Alex Newhook next to him. Burakovsky, who certainly hasn't been putting pucks in the back of the net of late. Is he going to come in and have that immediate impact, or are we expecting a little bit of a feeling out process for him?
I mean, who knows? It's really about how that line gels, right? Like, you never know what a line's going to look like until you put them together and they play. He has had time with the team to kind
It's
of
been a week of practices. for
understand
sure.
the systems and everything. So I'm not really concerned there. It's just really about that line chemistry, right? Like,
Yeah.
you get with new guys, you got to learn kind of what the nuances of what they like to do, what they don't like to do, when they like to get the puck, certain situations. Like, you learn that over just playing with somebody over and over and over again. That's the thing that's probably going to be lacking. And that's going to be up and down the lineup, though, for the Avs, just because of all the injuries that are going on.
yeah. No, and I think the fact that he's had a week with the team, and then usually these first games are, I guess I don't know the best way necessarily to word this, but you usually see guys just kind of going on instinct. I don't understand systems that well yet. To Blais, your point, I'm still feeling all this shit out. So I'm just going to kind of do the stuff that I know how to do. And every now and then you get lucky and you kind of catch lightning in a bottle, and him and one of his other line mates just click, and suddenly
They just go off.
he can just jump right in.
For sure.
So that's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm expecting to see him make systematic errors. So go all the way back to that first Josh Manson home game
Yeah.
when he was breaking the puck out the wall and he played it into the middle of the ice, and it turned into this really bad turnover back of the net. Well, when we talked to Bednar after, he was like, yeah, that's something that he did in Anaheim. Where
Right.
they'd go up the wall and then they'd have someone come through the middle of the ice, and he was trying to get it to someone leaving the zone. We want it off the walls and out. We want it,
I fully expect to see that.
Right.
Lehkonen will be in the wrong position on a cycle or something like that.
And so,
but
for Manson, it looked like, we at face value were like, what a terrible turnover. Who is this guy passing to? But it's like, that's how he's broken pucks out for the last 7 years. And so having to change that, you're having to think a little bit. So I expect to see that a little bit from Lehkonen. But yeah, the chemistry thing, I agree with you. That's going to be the biggest piece.
It's because it's just like, it's really based on just like concepts, right? Like, your coaches teach you concepts. You learn concepts with your team. But it's such a free-flowing game that things are, obviously you have systems in place that you're trying to play, but things break down. So it is really about that line chemistry, I think.
I mean, it's the beauty of hockey, right? Is your game plan doesn't last very long when you get out on there on the ice. You have general concepts, but at a certain point, it's get open and make a play.
Yeah.
So I truly think it's the best thing about
and
hockey.
he's going to
but-
be kind of, especially for Newhook and Burakovsky, I think they want to see him filling that Nichushkin,
For sure.
Landeskog role.
Yeah.
Go dig out pucks, get to the front of the net, distribute, and be a pain in the ass to handle in front. And I mean, I think that's kind of what you're looking for out of him in general. I think they want him next to Newhook.
Yes.
So this is actually a nice excuse just to put him there and not have to worry about, do we want to play him up with the injury? Nope. Staple him next to Newhook and just call it good and start building that for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's definitely smart, right? Like what you're talking about, as people start becoming available because they're getting healthy, keeping those two guys together because you have a new player out there. Well, put him next to Newhook and whoever is on that other wing.
Right.
So be it.
And we've seen Bednar regularly throughout his time in Colorado has run more of offensive pairs than lines. You've had the three-headed monster for a long time, but he's kind of always liked Mikko and MacKinnon together, with Landy being the float there. You've seen Kadri and Nuke get stapled together when healthy, basically, almost exclusively. You kind of go down the lineup for years. He would run Jost and Comfort together. As much as people didn't necessarily like that, it was something that he was pretty committed to at times. So it's not out of Bednar's purview to do things like that.
Sure.
And then kind of have a third wheel on a line where he rotates it and makes it work. We kind of have already drifted into the promotions conversation here, but you are going to see Kadri on the top line with Nichushkin tonight. Is this a Mikko has to carry the load night, or can Kadri hold his own up there?
Shouldn't be, right? That's all. That kind of goes back to what we were just talking about with the depth. That is hopefully the theory behind all of this is you're deep enough that you can plug guys in. And I mean, Kadri's the points leader on this team.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know who would have thought that? Obviously, there's been injuries and stuff like that, but in March, late March, the 29th. Nazem Kadri is the leader in points on the Avs, more than 80. I think Mikko kind of has to take on that role that we talked about with MacKinnon last week where, hey, I'm now drawing the attention, so that should free up guys like Kadri and Nichushkin. I don't think I've fully comprehended how good of a season Nichushkin's having.
It's a career year by a mile for him.
In every possible measurable category. So, Rantanen should now be the one drawing the attention, and the other two guys are the ones who should be finding themselves open, freed up. And then again, you get to that second line. Obviously, this is a tough matchup with Calgary, but Arturri Lehkonen, Newhook, Burakovsky. Okay, now a little bit easier matchups on most nights than what you get with that top unit.
Yeah.
But this is a team that should still win some games.
Oh, yeah. I think with that second line, especially with Newhook and Lehkonen, you're saying, look, go out there and play like your hair's on fire.
Yep.
And we've already seen it for a bunch of games from Newhook. That dude is always skating. You'd love to see them get Berkey finishing a little bit, but
hitting the net.
Yeah. Start there, I guess. But the talent level is there with that line. Yeah. It's just a matter of getting it across the line. Are the Avs the best team in the league without MacKinnon and Landeskog and Gerard? No, probably not. But are they still a good hockey team? Yes, absolutely.
Very good, yes.
So don't sleep on them. I'll put it that way.
Well, and again, what has made them over the last several years, this has kind of been a theme that even when the injuries start cropping up, the team just seems to keep chugging along. And I know AJ likes to give me shit for the Bednar stuff and all that, but it really does come back to systems that Jared Bednar and his coaching staff have put in place, how much the team has bought into them. And, we talked about it on a show last week relative to the defenseman, but it's also true up front, just how well this coaching staff deploys players to play to their strengths, again, we look at a guy like Lehkonen. Part of the reason why everyone pretty much across the hockey community agreed that was a great deal is because of how well he already fits into what it is that they do. So they play really well within a system. They play a great structure. And then you add in the fact that they have really, really, really good players on top of that, how you kind of end up with this. But those first two things are why, even on a night like this, even on the night when they had 15 guys in Nashville, you were like, well, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. They could, because you trust and they trust in their system, in their coaching staff, in their structure, and it's part of what makes them so good before you even get to the individual talent.
We got a $20 super
Wow.
chat here from Zach. Very generous. Thank you very much. Probably going to be asleep after the game because I'm in Indiana. So here's the DNVR fam, and good luck for the Avs.
Fair.
Cheers, Zach. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. All right. Blais, make Zach his money back here with some Blais
Yeah,
bets.
let's see if we can get things going again here. So first time the Avs are plus money on the money line. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
If Kemper plays a really good game,
The Avs will win.
the Avs win,
That's
right?
simple.
So let's hope for a good game from him. Kadri, anytime goal scorer, being on that top line, getting a lot of looks.
I think you could hit 2 plus 150 plus bets in one power play here based
Yeah.
on that second one there.
Yep.
The Kadri, I'm surprised Kadri is that plus given he's
Yeah.
playing next to Miko.
Yep. And, I mean, he's got a knack for scoring. So
He's pretty good at putting
Yeah.
putting points up on the board for sure. So, you've been consistently finding plus bets lately. It's
Yeah.
actually a little surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, DraftKings wants you to make these bets.
There
So-
you go,
And then the last one, Makar over a
Yeah.
half a point on the power play.
free money. Got it.
Yep, and then if you want to go with the other side of the puck there, Johnny Gaudreau got 3+ points in the
Yep.
last 3 games.
He's been
so-
hot. He's been hot for sure. They had what was the fire and ice?
Oh yeah,
parlay
the fire
or
and ice
whatever.
parlay was what was it? It was Kadri to score.
What was it? I thought it was Miko and Gaudreau to score.
Was it Miko? Let's look real fast. Hold on, give me one.
It's an Av and Gaudreau to score, and then it's what, over 6.5 or something. But it's good money.
Yeah, let's see here. It's plus 700.
So there you go, right there.
Yeah, so it's Rantanen to score, Gaudreau to score, over 6.5 goals.
So
That last one's the scary one.
yeah. So if you don't have faith in Kemper, if you think it's gonna be a goal scoring fiesta, you get plus 700 for Miko, Gaudreau, and 6.5. Definitely money wise, an interesting bet to say the least. Yeah. Other than that, go make money on Blais's bets, and our show's gone just about the right length. We're like 7 minutes from puck drop, so we're going to get out of here for this pregame. We appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us. We hope you will join us for postgame afterward as well, so hope to see you there, and until then, enjoy the hockey game.